You want to add your contact? All right, we're going to get started in just a second or two. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Alana Heim.
Hello, hello.
Of Prosperity Alignment. I'm still trying to get this recording started here. 1 second. We're official. Good morning. I'm JacQuaeilne, Intuition Power, with my dear friend and co-host today, Alana Heim with Prosperity Alignment. The world is falling apart, but it's when something falls apart, it gets to be put back together, maybe even better. I just spoke with a recent client who's living in the UK, and she's a medical, I don't know what you call it, refugee from Lebanon. She's been working in the medical field for many years now, because she's working on a better passport so she can travel around the world, but her parents are in Lebanon, and it's getting pretty dicey. And she was contacting me, and she, like so many other people, not only the people there in any kind of war-torn country, whether it be Ukraine or Mexico, Venezuela, there's stuff going on so many different places, and then or weather, floods in Hawaii, and all kinds of things. This is the time when people need to really get into their heart and have some kind of spiritual groundedness in who am I. So just speaking with her and giving her some perspective, a couple of meditation reminders and pointers, and working and coaching with her on a regular basis to hold up a mirror that she's okay, and it is life-changing.
Yeah, it feels like we've been in this house of mirrors, and everything that like you would see yourself over and over and over, really you could have had behind you this background of all this stuff and everything's around you and you think it's real, and now it's collapsing, right? It's all breaking apart for you to get back to, oh, it's just me. Like I don't need to see all these reflections and mirroring back. And I think that's the hard part is everything's crumbling out here. It's helping you to find you again. And a lot of this was just the illusion, right? Like we can have all this cool stuff, but is it really about the stuff? Is that what brings you joy? Is that what makes you? Is that who you are? And I think that's the harder part is like we know this, we kind of like we hear it spiritually. Many of us, we get that this stuff happens, but then to really have something ripped away from you, whether it was stuff or even family, like other flesh and blood, it just awakens something in you to feel. And that can be the sadness, the frustration, the anger. Maybe it does give you some sort of space and freedom to be like, oh, I'm actually free of that thing. And I didn't need that anymore. It was more of a headache. And there's just so many things that we just keep doing over and over because we think that was what we were supposed to do. And then we're afraid to find out what's on the other side.
Right. So many people are not totally connected with spirit. Like, who am I? And what is this physical body that we have? And so the reality is, and they can be, you can be a very spiritual person, but the attachments that you have, and that's one of the things about life and death, that so many people fear death. Part of that is programming. I'm not saying be nonchalant, but you could be, but the point is to be here now and to
Mm.
make sure that if something happens, you don't have regrets. Like, oh, I should have said I'm sorry, or I should have said I love you, or like when 9/11 happened before your time almost. um, the uh, people were in the building that as it was crumbling, and it was obvious they were trying calling their loved ones. I just want to say I love you. Phone dead, gone. And so to be able to be a little bit more patient, there was a Leo Buscaglia in the 1970s, way before a lot of people. Okay, and then he had a radio talk show in Los Angeles, and he had a class that he taught at USC. Um, I'm not going to say um, USC. It's a very exclusive, expensive school to attend, and he was teaching the class, and it was called Love. And he was not he was an Italian, and he was just like, I love my mama, and and food, and he was having conversations with people about relationships and love, and that was the course that he taught. And he would talk on the show, saying, we need to really be grounded and respect ourselves and respect others, and make sure that you don't have regrets when you communicate. And and it was all about expressing love in a respectful way, and being in the moment, so that if something happens, you never know. um, Hopefully you've developed your intuition to be in the right place at the right time, have that extra guidance. Or hopefully you've done something like work with Alana or someone with human design, and really start to get to know yourself, your strengths, where when somebody gets a chart, for example, can you actually help them to what can you do when with in regard to this topic?
Help them to realize what energy is theirs and what energy are they feeling from the world. So it's huge because if everything's, I think, as you put it, falling apart and you're feeling certain things, is it even yours? And and a big one is value and worthiness. And a lot of people have that particular center. It's the will center. They have it white, they have it undefined. And what does that mean? If at any point they're feeling unworthy or unvalued, that's actually the energy they're feeling from the world around them. And we're in that, right? Because there's a lot of things where our ego is still tied to how I be and perform, and really that comes from the doing. And it's not about who they are, that they have inherent value just being this soul in a body. And so it's when everything's crumbling, when you like know your value, you're gonna have almost this strength inside of you to say, I see this is crumbling and I see the better way. I see what we can create from what is no longer, right? It's like I always see the things that the old, we can pull it out of ourselves, we can kind of take it into a ball, and most of the time we want to transmute it, we want to get rid of it. And more I see, what if we just keep compacting it into this tiny little seed? And this seed that is going to now rebirth in a more powerful way. Because it's not that we want to forget the old or act like it didn't exist and cut it out of us. We really want to integrate it into this experience, what we learned from it, what was so beautiful, even if it didn't feel like it was a good thing. We can always take that and seed something better. And that's the part where if you're looking at your chart for the first time and there's just parts of you that are like, I don't know me. Well, let's start to at least discern, what do you feel from others and what energy is yours that you are creating. And you're creating some of this too, but for you to just start to have like a little bit of um and it's not so much separation, but feeling the discernment, because then at some point you're here to unify all of it into a higher way, right? Like taking the seed of whatever has been that didn't work out, you felt crappy, shitty, failure, and now you get to see how you're going to learn from it and grow from it, right? You can grow so much in a seed. You can have something fruit really big and beautiful. It could be an oak tree, or it could still be something that's really small, but so potent for maybe some other form of the animal kingdom, or you know what I mean? Like we're all here to create. And I think that's the bigger part, is to spark that remembrance.
And part of that creating is growing. And the growing, if you're out in the garden, fertilizer is what helps things grow. So
Yeah. And that's
um,
decomposition. You know what I mean? You take the
yeah.
old and it is beautiful, fertile soil for the new. And so as much as we so want to just keep taking the old cancers, cut it out of us, act like it doesn't exist, that is not what we're in this transition of, right? We're not to take whatever wars, whatever things happened to our ancestors, what's happening right now. We're not meant to forget it and cut it out. It's time for us to glean what were we missing? What didn't we see? And a lot of times I feel like it's just like you said, it's the heart. The heart wanted to come through. It didn't know how to communicate. Now there's miscommunication. Now there's somebody who's like, nope, my side is better. It needs to win. And this one, starts to feel small and meager. And this one takes over. It's almost like how the worlds have gone, whether it's like
Well,
Rome and Greece and all, there's somebody who always wants to come over and be the one to just win it all. And we're getting to a place where that's not what it's about. And we need to acknowledge that, see that within ourselves, and then help to realize, how do we have it so we all get to win together and
yeah.
grow and love together.
So knowing yourself, but in addition to that, like in this situation with that client, she has a beautiful heart and she loves her parents. And the distance and the inability, she said, I the one of the parents is needs some medical attention, but she's going, we don't even trust the medical system there, and we don't think that that's the right thing, and they're stuck and they're stranded and they're elders, and all of their friends are gone and they're by themselves, and I can't get there. I don't have the money. Even if I did, I don't know if I could get there because of the conditions. And so the emotional attachment and the connection, especially with parents or children, close family, or you've got the other side of the people that like the parents that were abusers, that you've got the pain and the scars inside of the fact that the parents or the lack of parenting, for one reason or another, create a foundation that we build our relationships on. And so it's it's not just love and relationships, but it's also your ability to stay um, strong, centered, and in your calm place or joy place or love place when shit happens. Like I ran and was giving something to my neighbor last year, and tripped, got my leg caught, went flying, and fractured my wrist, both arms, both not both arms, thank God, both bones, and ended up with 18 screws and two metal plates. And I just dealt with it, and I knew pain control. I was at the hospital through a friend that was walking by, um, within like 20 minutes, and I just knew how to breathe. I knew how to manage. I was not feeling throughout the whole thing. I was uncomfortable for about an hour and a half because I had practiced. I This is what I do. I work with consciousness, and and then through the healing and then the surgery and all of that, I think I took pain pills for a day and a half. And then I took something called arnica. It's a homeopathic thing. And that was like miraculous. And people were looking at me, and then you couldn't use your arm for like 6 weeks. You were helping, other friends were helping. Um, hard to prepare foods without two hands.
Mm.
um, so, but I made it work. And people going, you were so strong. How did you do that? And da 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 da. And it's like, really? That was not life threatening. It was just an inconvenience.
Mm.
And I, and so to be able to, if somebody knocks you down for whatever reason, how quickly can you move, stabilize, whether it be an emotional thing when you hear the news, instead of going like my grandparents, oh my, oh, terrible, terrible, terrible.
Mm.
I listen to it and then I immediately go into a prayer. God bless those, the innocent victims. God help awaken those people that are causing this to love and higher self. And then I let it go, because there's nothing more I can do except stay centered and as calm and healthy as I possibly can for myself, because I radiate that frequency. And then getting help to go, Alana, pull up my chart. What can you give me insight into this situation? And then you'd go, sure, here's an appointment if you can't do it right now. And then she would give me insight to help me get into that stable place and remember who I am, what I can do, and the strategy. So your work is brilliant, and I want to thank you for it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so group prayer is powerful. Go to your churches, your chapels, your synagogues, whatever it is, and or do it online, or just go on YouTube University, find a good meditation, work with myself, work with Alana. And I would say the best thing people can do is really take some classes, get some support. The sooner the better, because do you think things are gonna, I think
We still have to hit more of the bottom.
fall apart.
Yeah. And, but then there are pockets of people that are already, they're in a different place. They're here already seeding what's to come. And I know you're meeting these people and they're all over, right? And it's like being able to just be that beacon of light or hope. And for all of the rest of us, I think that the image that came up when you were talking about like, like hitting, falling over and like, life hits you. Um, and it's reminding me again, it's kind of like part of the fun house, I guess. Or, if you think of like those inflatables and maybe it has like a little face on it or a clown, but inside at the bottom there's sand so that it can rock and it can come back, right? You can hit it and then it's gonna bounce right back up.
Right.
So how can we be more buoyant? How can we be more flexible? How can we adapt faster and pivot, right? Because just the same as yes, you can get hit and come back. Maybe you can even move out of the way and not quite get hit, right? And again, when you're really present, you're going to have the awareness to go, oh, this is coming at me. Uh-uh. And that's huge. That's when you become the Jedi. That's how I see a lot of these energies
Exactly.
work with even knowing your chart. And if I tell you, oh, you feel all this from the world, doesn't mean it comes and sticks to you, and that you fall and hit. You may still like pivot with it, but you even before that, when you start to have the awareness that it's coming at you, you can allow your auric field to push out and for you to say, no, go this way. Like this isn't for me. I see what this is. I don't need this anymore. Because again, when you start to look in that way, you realize you have so much power to say what comes in and out. You get to make the choice. And if you've been caught in a loop that allowed you to just keep getting hit over and over, at some point, there's going to be a fire within you that ignites and says, no more. And you burn away what no longer serves.
Okay, so I'm gonna run to the other room for a second, get something, and talk for like 40, 30 seconds.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So it's coming back into having this awareness. What keeps happening? What is it that feels like you're just stuck in a pattern? It can even be a habit you created. And all of this is leading to there's a foundation somewhere, whether it's within you, the foundation of even how our systems are built right now. The foundation isn't solid and secure anymore. And it could even be a belief you had that you start to realize was faulty and it was a shoddy foundation. So you don't have to have that anymore. And when things crumble, what does that mean? You get to build something new, right? You get to build that stronger foundation for yourself where maybe it really is based in love and the old foundation is crumbling, which is my personal belief for what's happening right now on the planet. It was all based in fear. So money, our education, our medical systems, government, politics, the all of it, it was based in fear. And so fear ran the world. And guess what? When we start to realize we don't need to live in fear, why is fear here anymore? We realize that all those systems, we're actually starting to uncreate them and let that whole world go so that we can create something better than before. And built in love, like that's immortal and it's so pure and innocent and, more accepting of who we be and letting judgment go back to where fear was. So it's creating from that place. And now, what do you choose to build? Who do you choose to be in this new way?
And here's what I wanted to go and grab. These are two donut magnets I use with my healing work sometimes. And they're very, very strong. And they're so similar energy. The physics of thoughts and reality is similar energy attracts, opposites repel. And so this is really, really strong. And if I flip it around and opposites, you cannot push them together. It's really hard. But if I flip like that, they're really hard to pull apart.
And
So as
that's the flip of the world. That's where we are. We're starting to no longer attract this fear-based place. We're actually repelling it. And it's like, but most of us are still resisting the fighting. Like we just, so
right,
I love
it's
that.
in martial arts, the idea that we talked about a minute ago, uh, what what I was taught in one of my classes is with qigong or one of those other martial art things. If something's coming at you, instead of hitting it or blocking it, you just sense it and you move away, or you grab it and you help it move past faster and it runs into the wall and it hurts itself. So we'll talk about that maybe more next week. And how do you move away from the incoming stuff, or if stuff is impacting your friends, your loved ones, or yourself in a challenging way, in a hurtful or painful way? How do you recover faster? And how do you um, live a happier life in spite of what's going around? And it's okay. And it's actually important to have more joy. And what comes to mind is Robin Williams, the comedian actor who played um, uh, who played a role, and this was a true story about a doctor who would put on clown outfits and he would heal young kids, and he would make them happy as he was doing his work and diagnosis. And um, so even in the most challenging situations, keeping your sense of humor, keeping yourself calm and centered is really helpful.
Yeah. And all I can say is, as much as I've really learned, I can't interfere in another's path. And yes, as a parent, even with my children, there's certain things I can do, but it's their journey. And that is the piece where every single human, all of us, those we care about, those that like we give our greatest worries to, right? I've met way too many mothers that all they do is worry about their children. That's
Oh my
fear.
God, that's so that worry is projecting fear
It's
into the
fear.
future. It's like,
It's constant
whoa.
fear. So stop, if you can, right? It's to acknowledge, like, why are you fearful? Where can you start trusting? Trusting they're going to make the good choices, trusting you were you did the best you could. You gave them as much wisdom as you could, that they're going to make the good choices. It's trusting, it's letting it go, cutting it off and just letting it go. And so the only thing you can really help yourself is you, on this journey of how do you choose what's best for you. Some things, yes, I'm deflecting. And some things I still have a curiosity of, let me see how this can help me grow.
Let's talk about that next week. I think that's a great topic. And so I want to thank everybody for sharing. We love your comments. And Alana, thank you so much for joining. Your wisdom and center is brilliant, and I appreciate you. And everybody, stay in your heart, take deep breaths. The breath is the practice, even if you're not doing yoga.
Yeah.
And have a really good week, everybody. Stay centered
Yeah.
and reach out if we can help you. We're here for you. Okay,
Thank you,
thanks, Alana.
Jacqueline.
Bye.
Bye.